welcome to the 2025 Refresh Renew Summit with Soul Heart Collaboration. I am your hostess, Jamie Allen Bishop, and I'm here to introduce our next speaker. You're going to love this. Luci McMonagle is a multidimensional healer and a psychic guide whose compassionate clarity transforms lives. Using face reading, she reveals how your soul's purpose manifests in your features. By blending mystical insight with practical strategies, Luci empowers clients to unlock authentic power and resilience. Her signature Galactic Psychic Readings and tailored practices create safe, empowering spaces for self-discovery and energy realignment. Attendees trust Luci to illuminate hidden strengths, navigate uncertainty with poise, and step decisively into their aligned purpose. Please help me welcome Luci McMonagle.
Hello, I'm Luci McMonagle, and I am so honored to guide you through this journey today. Thank you for joining the Soul Heart Collaboration event. In the next few minutes, I'll show you how you can use your soul purpose that's written on your face for wisdom and to align with your goals and daily intentions. Before I start, just wanted to give you a little bit about myself. I'm an international speaker, author, multidimensional healer, psychic guide. What I do is I blend intuitive insights with practical strategies to empower you to unlock your authentic self and to help illuminate hidden strengths, hidden knowledge, and allow you to navigate uncertainty. Before today, you may have heard a little bit about face reading. You might have heard about your soul purpose, or maybe you haven't heard about any of those. I'm going to give you a little bit on face first, revealing your soul purpose through face reading. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about you needing to use your whole face to really understand how to utilize this for your soul purpose. Your face holds energetic signatures that reflect your soul's blueprint. Let's explore the three main zones today, and I'll talk a little bit about each zone and how they work together. The first zone is the forehead, which includes the hairline, the hair, the eyebrows. This brings mental clarity, vision, and your soul's calling. The second zone is your cheeks. This brings emotional intelligence and compassion, along with how do you connect with other individuals. And then the third one is your jawline, which is your willpower, boundaries, and your drive. When you think about your face and you start feeling your face, which feels most active or tense today? That's usually the part of your soul aspect that's speaking the loudest. Once you know which zone is dominant, you can align your goals with your soul's natural strengths. Now, is your forehead dominant? If it's very dominant, if it's very pronounced, focus on visionary planning and big picture goals. Are your cheeks dominant? Do you have large cheeks? Are they soft? Are they sunken in? Are they fleshy? If your cheeks are dominant, this is where you would prioritize relationships, healing, and emotional fulfillment. If you have a big, strong jaw, this is your dominant feature. This is where your soul purpose would be setting goals with clear boundaries and action steps. Think of one current goal. Does it reflect your dominant zone? If not, you might want to realign it a little bit so that you can understand how this works together. The shape of your forehead is going to be important. If you have a round, full forehead, that indicates that you can use imagination, and your soul gift is originality and problem solving. You seek creative solutions, creative alternatives, and you really dislike rigid systems and procedures that limit your options. You prefer to be given a problem and then allowed to figure it out yourself. That's your soul gift, using imagination, that ability to figure things out. Now, if your forehead slopes backwards, you have a really good memory. You're quick with your reactions. This also indicates a very strong development of memory and your appreciation of applications with proven methods and procedures so that you can avoid wasting time. It's one of the most important aspects of this. You also, once you've seen something done correctly, you remember that very easily. Now, if your forehead's straight up, you're very linear, you think step by step, you're logical. This is really good to understand that if the information that you're facing is out of sequence, you're able to quickly assemble these sequences in a step-by-step fashion. Your sole purpose is to help others to methodically move forward in life. You don't really work very well under pressure because you like to see the steps clearly to move forward. And if you're pushed to think and act instantaneously, you might become a little bit overwhelmed and shut down. So your strength is when you learn something, you retain it practically forever. What if your brow is protruding, it's bony, it's above the eyes? This when you embrace rules and regulations and you prefer certainty. What that means is if it's not certain, it doesn't work very well for you. Your soul is telling you and showing you how you can use these rules to proceed forward and to be successful. If you have no brow, means no bony ridge above your eyes. What this means is you're flexible, you're adaptable, you're spontaneous, you're open to new ideas, you're adventurous. This is your soul speaking of exploring new things, understanding new things. Now, you get a little bit overwhelmed if it's overtly technical, and you resent being forced into something that's rigid. Your sole purpose is to teach and help others to be adaptable. The next part of the zone here is your eyebrows. If your eyebrows are nice and rounded, you're a people person, people oriented. You connect easily with other individuals. Your sole purpose is to help connect people. Let's say you have a protruding, predominant, rounded forehead with curved eyebrows. You would help individuals with using their imagination and creativity to solve problems. If your eyebrows are straight across, you have a very logical approach. You need facts, figures, and you can evaluate things very easily without letting your emotions affect you. If your eyebrows are angled, you need to have mental control, and you control your mind very easily, and you'd like to be stable. This is a good sign of leadership qualities. You can be critical. You have very good leadership qualities. The next section is, where's your eyebrows? Are they high up? Are they low set? If you have very high eyebrows, meaning from your eye to your eyebrows, this means you're discerning. You like the wait and see approach. And then if you have very low eyebrows, you're very mentally quick. I could get a lot more into depth about that, but let's move on to the cheeks, the emotional zone. Your cheeks indicate your personal power that's perceived by others. Often, the first response you receive from others is their unconscious response to your cheeks. This is how you present your soul to the world. If your cheeks are protruding, it's usually often seen on a lot of movie stars. They're power symbols. It means that when you walk into the room, you immediately grab the attention as the light reflects onto those with the power symptoms. You get attention. You're going to be in the spotlight. Now, if your cheeks are rounded with no bones showing, you get broad support, and you give broad support. You're an excellent organizer. Your cheeks are non-threatening. They communicate a tolerance and acceptance from others, and you have no trouble organizing a group or getting people to join your parade. You're excellent at consensus building. If your cheeks are narrow and high, you have intense bursts of energy. And you also have to remember that with intense bursts of energy, you have to replenish that energy. Your energy is like a quarter horse. You're very good for short bursts of intense action, and you're great at meeting tight deadlines. However, you hate to work with slower people. You work best when you can take breaks every 2 to 3 hours, and even for a few minutes. You need to work with other people who are fast paced and quick. If you have a really wide cheek, meaning your cheeks are set far apart, that means you have endurance and stamina. You have great personal power. You go the distance because you have long-term energy and endurance. While you go at your own pace, you will often wear out most people who try to keep up with you. Remember that when you're with other people, you have a can-do attitude, but you also have to give a lot of grace and forgiveness to those who don't have great personal power. If your cheeks are sunken in, your soul is trying to tell you to conserve your physical energy. If you have broad sets beside your eyes, right here, this cushion here, you're a natural healer. You uplift other people. You would be a really good doctor, a nurse, psychologist, counselor, massage therapist, teacher, and you have the gift to uplift and encourage others. That's your soul gift. And then the next part is the mouth and the jaw. If you have a very large mouth that's protruding, you're very extroverted, confident, expressive. Your soul purpose gives you this outgoing and talkative ability. If you have a small mouth and proportionate to your face, you might be reserved and a little bit cautious. And then finally, if your mouth naturally curves upward when not smiling, then you're optimistic. You always hear the best of what people tell. And because you have wonderful life experiences, obviously life goes up and down, but you'll normally be enthusiastic with other people. If your curved lines are straight across, you're objective, you're a reflective listener. And if they curve downward, sometimes that means that you may mistrust other people, or you may have had some difficult challenges when you were growing up. How do your lips form? Are they full or are they small? Is the upper one larger or smaller? If you have full lips, if both the top and the bottom are extremely full, you have a sense of humor. If your lower lip is a lot larger than your upper lip, you can be very persuasive. You have the gift of gab. And then if your upper lip is larger than your lower one, you can express feelings verbally. You have perception. And then finally, getting to the jaw lines. If you have a large, strong jaw, this means that you're committed to ideas. You're very loyal, and desire dominates. You have the physical stamina, and you seldom surrender regardless of the odds. If you have a narrow jawline, you're not very aggressive. You like to avoid physical aggressions, and you don't like combative people. So you have no desire to dominate or control others, but you also don't like being dominated or controlled. If you have pads of flesh hanging from the jawline, this means you have symbols of authority, and other individuals tend to see you as a CEO for large corporations. If you have ripples in your jawline, you may have repressed anger, and your soul's trying to help you with expressing your anger. And then finally, the shape of the jaw, the chin, is going to be important. If you have a large defined chin, your soul is expressing to you assertive and competitive. You have great preservations. And then if it's sticking out, this means that you're not easily intimidated. If you have a broad chin, you have great physical endurance. And if you have a very small chin, you could be sensitive to criticism. So when you're working with somebody, if they have a small chin, be gentle on how you give them feedback. If your chin's receding, if it's going backwards, you avoid conflict, but you have high ethical standards. If it's rounded, you're compassionate. You have a concern for people. If it's straight, you're motivated by causes and actions. And then finally, if your chin is pointed, you focus on ideas and the need to stay in control. You're a little bit resistant to orders. And if your chin is very pointed, you can be very dominating and you put your goals first. So this is just a very brief outline of how your soul purpose can help you. Now let's talk about activating those zones with some affirmations. Now these can be short, powerful statements that you align your energy with your purpose. You can come up with your own. So for the forehead, you can always affirm, my mind is clear and guided by purpose. With the cheeks, my heart is open and I lead with compassion. For the jawline, my will is strong and I take aligned actions. Choose the one that resonates most with you and then feel the words vibrate out. Your face is the map for your soul's purpose. When you understand your zones, align with your goals, and speak your truth, you unlock clarity, confidence, and flow. And you also understand other people's soul purpose. So, just as a reminder, next year, this event is going to be in person in Scottsdale, Arizona. It's going to be October 2nd, 3rd, and 4th of 2026. And I would love to connect with you. Thank you for sharing the sacred space with me. May your face always reflect the soul and the light of your purpose. Many blessings.